and they come to me, and if I was a person who had NPD, no, first let me give the normal example, okay? What I would do, I would almost literally be in tears because I'm the type of person that I cannot see somebody else cry. So if this person comes to me and is like, very hurt and crying, it's going to touch my heart. I'm going to almost feel like on the verge of crying. There's been many times that I've been to my friends have come to me crying, and I'm like, okay, first of all, don't cry because you're going to make me cry, because I'm feeling their pain. I'm to the verge of, I am almost crying with them too, because I know that they just got hurt, and I feel really bad. My heart goes out to them because they're hurting. Well, if I was a person who had NPD and they came to me, I would just be like, I would just try to reason everything out instead of using feelings and being there for the person and just hugging them and giving them, that comfort that they need in that moment. I'd probably like, well, I'm sorry that this happened to you, but you should have thought about it first before you got involved with that person. If you knew that they hurt you in the past before, then why you stupid enough to go and let them hurt you again? It's like they're not being sensitive to the other person's feelings. So that's kind of like an example of how a person with NPD would react. They lack empathy. And it's not easy dealing with these types of people. um I'm sorry, moving the camera, I'm getting comfortable. um it's very hard to deal with people who have NPD, because it's like you feel like when you go to them, it's like, what's the point? If you're not gonna, you know, be helpful in the way that you're gonna understand my feelings, and you know, I think it's all about the love. I It's all about having love for people. And that's one thing Jesus taught us. Um for those of you out there who don't know, I am Christian, and I those are my beliefs. And well, let me rephrase that. I am a born again Christian, because when people say Christian, a lot of people might think, oh, Catholic, a Mormon, or whatever. A lot of people call themselves Christian, but when I refer to Christian, I mean a born again Christian, evangelical, Pentecostal, whatever you want to call it. And those are my beliefs. My beliefs are that, you know, when I stop and think, I'm like, what would Jesus do? You know, before I react, before I talk, is something that I'm trying to mold my life according to my beliefs, according to what the Bible says, according to what Jesus taught. You know, it's all about love. You could achieve whatever you can. You could do all the greatest things in your life. But if you don't have love, what's the point? If you don't have love for other people, it's like everything you do is, there's no point to it. It's worthless. And I just feel bad for the people who have to deal with people who have um NPD, because it's very hurtful. It's very painful. It's and you try. I personally have dealt with. I never knew what it was. I just thought it was the person's character. But as I've been reading a lot about NPD, and I've been educating myself a lot and talking to friends who have gotten hurt also in the past by people who have NPD. Um, it's not easy. It really isn't easy trying to talk to someone who has NPD, getting through to them. Um, I've had some people before come to me who I know now for a fact, even though they haven't been diagnosed, because they are not willing to get the help they need. But even though they haven't been diagnosed, I know for a fact that they have NPD. And it's been really hard. Trying to get through to those people is really, really hard. They will just not. listen, no matter how hard you try to get through to them. They're very stubborn people, prideful. Pride is one of the things that is not good. It's not good because when you're dealing with a person who has a lot of pride, it's really hard to get through to them. And let me see what else it says. I know I wasn't done with all the points. Okay. And number 8 is often envious of others or believes others are envious of him or her. Now, that is very true. I have dealt with this one person who was NPD before. And this person, I mean, just made it so obvious how envy she was. And envy is also not a good thing. It eats you up inside. And, not only that, but to think that you're at this state of mind of grandiosity that you actually think that everybody envies you, that you have this great talent and this great, and you're just this great person that everybody has to envy you. I mean, it's like in this person's mind they think, okay, now come on, it's common sense, like, look at me, it's me, come on, of course I'm envied, you know well, people with NPD think this way. They think all the time that people envy them. And it's funny because they themselves are very envious people too. They have a sense of competition inside them all the time. It's about competing, it's about being better than anybody else. They have to be the best at everything they do. That's what it's all about to them. And the last point, wow, which is number 9, shows arrogance, haughty behaviors or attitudes. That's I don't know if I could say, yeah, that's the worst one. Arrogance, wow, haughty behavior. Let me give an example because I have dealt with arrogant people before. And, arrogance when mixed with, with being haughty is not good. It's like, well, it's me, you know. I'm good looking. I I'm the best, I deserve it all. Okay, now let me rephrase that. Don't get me wrong. There's nothing wrong with seeing yourself as beautiful, with looking at yourself in the mirror and saying, you know what? I don't care what people see out there. I don't care what people say of me. I don't care what people think of me. I look at myself in the mirror and I see myself as God sees me, as Jesus sees me. In God's eyes, I'm beautiful. In God's eyes, I'm perfect. Now, we need to learn how to see each other as God sees us. Yes, that's true. Because that's very good also for your self-esteem. If you have, over the years, if you've been dealing with issues of thinking that you're ugly, that you're fat, that you don't deserve to be loved, blah blah blah, just a sense, a feeling of worthlessness, that's not good either, because God sees you as beautiful. God sees you as perfect. He created you. He made you unique. You weren't meant to look like anybody else. You should be happy with the color of your eyes, with the color of your skin, with the shape of your nose, the shape of your lips, everything. That the way you are, you're perfect and you're beautiful. But when I'm talking about arrogance, that's different. It's like, oh yeah, like, yeah, I deserve, because I am just like this gorgeous man, or I'm this beautiful woman, and just this arrogance about you, like, everything's perfect. Like, how dare that person go there? How dare you go there with me? How dare you, do you